Okay, this is practice for Depot C. And for practice, we have Mr. Woodside for the plaintiff and Ms. Mann for defense. And this will be practicing at 160 and 170. To identify, I am Mr. Woodside for the plaintiff.
I am the witness.
I am Ms. Mann for defense.
Okay, so here we go with a question by Mr. Woodside. Do you have any knowledge of who made withdrawals from this account and who deposited money into this account?
No, as has 4 names there.
I can count the names, Doctor. My question was, do you recall who withdrew money from this particular account? Did you ever withdraw money from it?
What year is that?
1981.
Why don't you take a look at it?
I don't remember.
Was account number 0224406589 one of your accounts?
I really don't remember.
Why don't you take a look at the exhibits that I gave you and tell me if that refreshes your recollection?
These are compilations you made, Mr. Woodside.
Maybe that will refresh his recollection.
Does that refresh your recollection?
No.
Do you see that account number?
What number? I see a number.
What branch is that with?
I don't know that it's any branch.
Is that a Bank of America account?
I don't know. Is it?
You represented them to be Bank of America accounts. Why? We don't know that you used the same number.
That appears to be an account at Walnut Creek. Do you know if that was an account under your name?
I have no way of knowing.
Do you recall having any accounts during that period of time that listed your parents' names along with your name?
You just showed me some documents that say that.
Do you recall who made the deposits in these accounts?
I said no.
Let's mark these next. I'd like to show you Petitioner's Exhibit 80, which is an account with your parents' name, but you are a CO.
I think that means care of.
Do you recall that account?
No.
I'd like to show you Exhibit 82 and 83 and ask you to name the name of the person that signed those checks.
I did not sign them.
Is that your father's signature?
Which one?
82.
I don't know.
Do you know if it's your mother's signature?
I wouldn't know that either.
And how about 83?
That looks like my mother's signature.
Now on the back of these documents, number 82, is that your signature endorsing the check?
It looks like my signature.
And then 83, would that be your signature?
That is definitely not my signature.
And do you know who signed that?
No.
I'd like to show you Exhibit 84 and ask you if this is a statement from the Bank of America indicating that you own a $100,000 time certificate.
It's a piece of paper.
Do you recall owning the time certificate that that piece of paper mentions?
What time certificate? This says interest.
Okay. Account number 260500449. Now, do you recall owning a time certificate in the amount of $100,000 with that number?
No.
Do you recall receiving Exhibit 81 at any time?
I've never seen this document in my life.
Doctor, can you tell me the names of all persons that have knowledge concerning the issue of custody in this case, involving custody in this case?
I really don't understand what you're asking.
Can you tell me the names of all persons that have knowledge of the issues involving custody in this case?
The same question. I still don't understand what you are asking.
Can you tell me people that have been around you and Athena and your child Maria that would have knowledge and could testify in the case if they were called
For what purpose?
to testify?
I'm going to object to the question as vague and ambiguous, and it calls for speculation.
Can you tell me the names of all persons that you believe have significant knowledge concerning the custody issues in this case?
I'll object to the question as vague and ambiguous.
Do you understand the question?
No.
Do you know the names of any people that you believe have knowledge concerning Athena's ability as a mother?
I still don't understand your question.
I'm going to object to the question as vague and ambiguous.
Can you tell me the names of people that have been around Athena and have knowledge concerning her abilities as a parent?
Okay, yes.
Who would that be?
Maria,
And who else?
that's it.
You don't know the names of anybody else that has been around Maria and Athena enough significant amount of time where they could testify concerning Athena's ability as a parent?
This calls for utter speculation. You are not to answer.
I have a right to know who might be a witness in this case.
You're talking about utter speculation. A woman in a grocery store might have an opinion about her ability to parent.
I said significant.
I don't know what significant means.
A large amount.
Let me put it this way.
Let me strike that. Let me go at it in a different way. Doctor, other than yourself and Maria, who in your opinion has been around Athena and Maria the most, where they would have the best idea of Athena's parenting abilities.
I wouldn't know.
Is there anybody in Southern California that has been around Maria and Athena a significant amount of time where they would have knowledge concerning Athena's parenting abilities?
I don't understand what you are asking.
All right, why don't you let me know what you don't understand about that?
I don't understand the question either. These are just vague questions.
I have no idea what you are getting at. I don't understand the question itself.
Has anybody in Southern California been around Maria and Athena a significant period of time where they had the ability to observe her parenting ability?
I don't understand your question. I don't understand what is significant. I don't understand what period of time.
You don't understand significant?
Excuse me, I don't understand your question, no matter how you try to flower it.
I don't understand, no matter how many different times you ask this question. The answer is the same because I don't understand. You asked me to explain to you, so I'm going to do that. Be specific. You asked me about the parenting abilities of someone else observing this. When, how, in what situation, in what circumstances, what aspect of parenting? You're vague.
All right, I assume you believe you have been around Maria and Athena enough so that you have an idea of her parenting abilities.
I have an idea, yes.
Who else that you know has also been around her enough times so they could form an opinion?
I still don't understand your question.
I think it's calling for something beyond the scope of his knowledge too. Unless we can get something more specific, Mr. Woodside, we are going to move on.
Has anybody in Southern California been around Maria and Athena a significant amount of time or many times or many occasions where they would be in a position to observe her parenting ability?
I do not understand the question.
All right. Do you understand, Doctor, the issues of custody in this case?
Which ones?
In this case.
I'm going to object to the question as vague and ambiguous. Does he understand the issue of custody, not the issues of custody itself that have been raised in this case? We are well aware of that. There is Athena's motion pending for change of custody, so
That's correct.
does he have an understanding of the legal ramifications of that? And if you are asking for that, I'm going to object to it as a legal conclusion.
Do you have any knowledge of any persons who have knowledge of any of the issues involving custody in this case?
Mr. Woodside, with all due respect, I don't understand what you are talking about.
It calls for something beyond the scope of this witness's knowledge. Move on. We're beating a dead horse at this point.
Can you tell?
My God.
Do you know who you are?
No. I
She's
can't.
So this is a couple minutes of warm-up from the actual take material, which is Mr. Pepika for plaintiff examining and Mr. Wittick for defense. And I am Mr. Pepika for the plaintiff.
I am the witness.
I am Mr. Wittick for defense.
Okay, so we're on page 13 here, line 14, just for a couple minutes. We'll read in 14s. And let's see. So we'll just go ahead and start with the answer.
Okay.
Sorry.
What do you mean by truth and veracity?
Honesty.
I've never been charged with a crime like that, no.
And as far as you know, your driver's license has no restrictions, correct?
No restrictions.
Have you ever worn any glasses prior to today's deposition?
No,
Just so we can get this deposition moving along, you were involved in an accident sometime in April of 2003, is that correct?
yes,
Do you recall the exact date?
not without checking my notes.
Does April 23 sound right to you?
Yes,
What type of vehicle were you operating at that time?
Nissan truck,
What year?
1995,
What color?
blue,
How long had you owned that vehicle prior to the accident?
since 1992.
Was it an automatic or standard?
It's a standard.
Were you the registered owner of that vehicle?
Yes,
Is there anybody else who is the registered owner of that vehicle?
no,
Do you recall what day of the week the accident occurred?
no,
Was it a weekday or weekend?
a weekday.
Do you recall what time?
Yes, it was approximately 10 a.m.
Where did the accident occur?
on the 55 freeway.
Is that the 55 freeway entrance from the 91 freeway?
Yes,
What direction were you traveling on the 55 freeway?
toward the ocean.
Would that be north, southbound?
I believe so, yes.
Let the record reflect that all my questions would relate to the accident that happened on April 23rd, 2003. Where were you coming from prior to the accident?
I was coming from a job interview.
And where was your job interview?
It was at a company called, let me see, Beam Alarm.
Is that in relation to the kind of work that you do?
Yes,
You were coming from or you were going to your appointment?
I was coming from it.
Where was Beam Alarm?
Their location?
Yes.
Their location is on La Palma, right off the 91 freeway at Lakeview.
Could you please tell me the route that you took from where you came from Beam Alarm to the area where the accident took place?
Yes, I got out of the parking lot from Beam Alarm, got onto La Palma, and then got on the 55 freeway going southbound.
Okay, so that's what this is about.